Hi there, welcome to Being Beta, where today I'm going to be installing an auto rewind Hozelock garden hose essentially. So in terms of kit, obviously you're going to need your hammer drill. It's a 7mm masonry drill bit. I've then got a Phillips screwdriver, tape measure, spirit level, hearing and eye protection. I've got a Sharpie, a punch, then a hammer, obviously the hose itself with wall bracket, the fixings that came with it, and then the various attachments, and crucially the instruction manual, which is actually a little bit more to it than I realised. So before doing any drilling or anything like that, the thing that you need to pay attention to is the actual sighting of the hose itself. There are sort of minimum and maximum measurements that you need to take note of depending on where you're going to sight it. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. Taking account of these is then position it on the wall. Okay, so the guy that lived here beforehand, he had a Hozelock system. He's left the wall plate in place. He also had a hose guide as well, which is really useful if you're going around corners, which we will be. So I'm going to utilise the hose guide. I would have utilised the placement of this, but unfortunately it doesn't quite meet the required measurements that have been put in the instruction manual. Now what is on the box itself that I've cut out is a template for the wall bracket itself. Now I know, having done my measurements, that it needs to be roughly in this sort of position here. So what I'm going to do now is just get it all spirit leveled up, and then I'm going to use a Sharpie just to mark through where the wall plugs and the screws are going to go into as well. Right, so I've decided to sight the wall bracket just on this side of this original plate here. Now if this was normal sort of brick work, then I could just drill in on the points that I've marked with the Sharpie. As it is though, because this is pebble dash, I'm now going to punch a couple of pilot holes essentially for the masonry drill bit, just so it'll sit in a bit easier and won't sort of skim over these pebbles. So I'm just going to do that now. So with the pilot holes punched, I'm now going to drill using my 7mm masonry drill bit. It said I need to go to a depth of 50 millimeters. So I've marked off with tape here that distance, so 5 centimeters on here. So I know I need to drill up to the tape. So I'm just going to do that now for all 4 screw holes. So having drilled the holes, I've now put my first screw in place, just not completely snug, because there is a little bit of give on these sort of guides. So you'll be able to put the other screw in now, and then into the wall plugs that I've just hammered in, and then I can use the spirit level along here just to make sure it's nice and level before I then tighten the screws down. So that's what I'm going to do now. So the wall bracket is now in place, so happy with that. So the next stage, according to the instructions, is just to connect the feeder pipe, they call this, from the tap into the hose itself. So I'm just moving the feeder pipe to one side, and then the next thing to do is then remove this piece here, just by undoing these screws. It says not to touch the other sort of darker coloured screws, so I'm going to do that now. So next thing, with that removed, you unscrew the grey cap, pop that over one end, and then going to get the other end just attached on like so. Make sure it's nice and snug, and then I'm going to screw the cap back on, and then reinstall this end back onto the reel itself. So with that done, the next stage is to take the hose pipe end itself, take this part that was supplied in the parts packaging, unscrew the cap, pop it over the end, push onto the connector snugly, and then tighten up. And with that done, you just literally grab the hose piece and then just click that in place. Okay, so the next part of the process, dead easy. You just lift the reel onto the wall bracket itself. You angle it, so you put the uppermost part of the wall bracket through this eyelet here, and then you pop it like that, and then you push the bottom in, and that's going to connect down the bottom. And then you come onto the back onto the feeder hose. You grab this little piece and undo the grey cap, and then again, as always, you're going to pop the grey cap over the end and then push this end of the connector in. Make sure it's a snug fit, and then tighten up the cap. Next part of the process is to take this piece. This is going to go on the outdoor tap, so you take the white cap off, and then you're going to screw that in place. And then what this will allow is, from the feeder hose connection, it will just be now a push fit, like so. The feeder hose itself, you can wrap it around this disc so you haven't got too much slack. So that's what I'm going to do now. So this is it all hooked up now. There's a handy little storage section for attachments, just to show you it does work, like so. There's no leaks, so I'm really happy with the sort of fitting quality and so on. The other thing is, there's a security attachment that you can do, so you can actually padlock this area here so that no one can just walk off with your Hozelock itself. When you've finished with the watering of the garden or whatever, you can undo this end, and then you can wrap it around here and then just pop it on to here, so this is out of the way, then it's not sort of dangling around. So yeah, really happy with it. As always, thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, share and subscribe to help other beaters out there too. Thank you.